Y'all, so I know I'm up to about 3 shows right now at the same time, but I really want to start a show with Nunu and Z. Y'all, I am so in love with Nunu, okay? He is like princess. Absolutely gorgeous. And it plays well into the series that we are getting started with today. Let's also not forget Z's foreign ass. To me, Z's face is just so pretty. I don't know what it is about him. His roles give so serious and like all the roles that I've basically seen him play so far. But his features are they're so soft to me. Like if Nunu wasn't like princess, Z could easily fall right into place. Is it just me? It might just be me. So, truth be told, I am not entirely sure what this show is about, seeing that there are only a couple of episodes out. Actually, I think there's only 1 episode out right now. But that's going to be the thrill of doing the commentary this way. You get a fresh reaction from me. Also, it's pretty good quality, this cinematography. So I trust the show already. So let us get right into it because I am ready to see what Z and Nunu have been up to. Episode 1 of The Next Prince starts off with Z's character, Sharon, looking very regal. He is riding on a white horse in the fields of a white estate. This is the country of Emily in Davin City, I believe the city is called. So it's the country of Emily in the city of Davin. So we get a bit of setting going on. Green pastures and a royal looking buildings. The next scene is Sharon and he is painting, looking like a painting himself. Yeah, he is so beautiful. Someone walks in and Sharon is summoned by His Majesty, the King. Then we see a montage of him getting ready and homeboy looks very wealthy and very put together. But I mean, I guess he does work for a king. Then when Sharon walks into the hall, he suddenly gets attacked by a random dude. But he kicks the dude's ass very casually. Like he isn't even breaking a sweat. Then right as he is about to kill the random dude, the king comes down the stairs and stops Sharon, commenting on his skills and how they are really, really good. Now we know that Sharon is a fighter and a protector and good, because I know he is going to be using that power to protect our Nunu, whatever his character may be. So we find out that the king is actually Sharon's grandfather who raised him. I told y'all he was regal, very princely. His grandfather must love Sharon the most because he wants to hang out with him. And I wonder why he says Sharon is the only grandson he can trust. I'm going to put a pin in that because that also lets us know that he is not the only grandson. So Grandpa King decides to send Sharon to England to get him some tea. And if I knew any better, the tea is actually code for something else. So in the next scene, we are at Bayes Business School. I think I'm saying that right. Bayes Business School. And it's in London and it's a fencing match that they're at. So the match is happening and then they decide to take a 1-minute break. And we finally see the other star of our eyes, one of the fencers. And it is the character our boy Nunu plays. And he's a red-haired Nunu talking to his coach. And at the current moment, he's actually losing the fencing match, with Sharon watching in the crowd. Also, I didn't realize fencing matches could be this intense. My little heart was beating a little bit. And Nunu's character, Kenneth, ends up actually winning the match in the end after he gets a little pep talk from his coach. So the announcer of the match lets it be known that Kenneth is of Imali descent. Then, while Kenneth and his team are celebrating, Sharon looks pissed and gets up and walks out of the match. And Kenneth notices. And I'm just wondering, like, what is that about? And as Kenneth is walking from his match, he notices Sharon is following him. And it's kind of creepy. But then Sharon disappears and Kenneth goes into the locker room and begins to change. But he cannot shake the fact that he seems to be being watched. And he is, because Sharon follows him. So Kenneth hides behind a vending machine and then he confronts Sharon when Sharon passes him up. And y'all know one thing about Nunu is that man can sing his ass off and his voice sounds like one of heaven's bells. But I did not know this man spoke English, okay? Fluently. And it's kind of sexy as hell. I was simping for like a brief moment. Like my breath was caught when I heard him speaking. Anyway, he asked Sharon, was he a scout? Then he saw Sharon couldn't really speak English, or so he thought. So, no, obviously he wasn't a scout. Then he was like, oh, so you're into me. Well, following someone around like this is very creepy. Plus, he hair flips. I am not into you. Then, y'all, yeah, he's so sassy. Then Sharon is like, don't jump to conclusions. And when he speaks, Kenneth was so shocked, y'all. He did not expect that Sharon spoke Emilian or Imali. I don't know like what they call it. And he was also standing there talking shit in the language too. Then Sharon starts critiquing Kenneth's fencing. And when I tell y'all, Kenneth was so offended. Now, Kenneth is one of the best on the team. And when Sharon basically told him, he sucked, he felt some type of way, okay? But we have to remember that Imalis are the top fencers in the world, and Sharon is one of the top fighters. So we know that he knows how to fence. So he, of all people, should know how to critique someone on how to get their skills up. And he was also being so serious while he was talking to Kenneth, and he was only giving him advice. He wasn't being, an asshole or nothing like that. Next scene is Kenneth's dad, and the man was cooking some good food, good Himalayan food. When Kenneth and his dad goes to sit down, Kenneth makes it known that all his dad ever talks about is Himalayan stuff to him. Even the damn house is decorated Himalayan. And the fucked up part is, his dad also lets him know that, Kenneth, you are not strong enough. Like, you're not strong enough fencer to compete with the Imali people. Another bruise to his ego already, because y'all know his feelings was hurt by Sharon earlier that day. Then when his dad asked him to practice fencing after dinner, Kenneth basically groans. And how much does Kenneth, aka Cornin, and oh my god, his name is so much prettier than Kenneth. I love the exotic, more ethnic names, just like mine. So we have Sharon and Carnan, and they are two beautiful names, and they sound real good together. Sharon, Carnan. So when he begins to practice, he remembers what Sharon had said about his shoulder twitch that Carnan always has before he takes a strike. He says it makes a difference in getting defeated or not, because your opponent can basically see your moves. I love how his father also encourages him to do his best, and the next match, Carnan does way better. He wins by 5 points, which I guess is a lot in fencing. The guy who he's fighting against, he asks Carnan, he's like, who taught you how to fight? And he said that his daddy did. Oh, y'all, that's so sweet. Y'all can tell this man loves his dad. And guess who was also there watching in the crowd? Sharon. Y'all, when Carnan walks into his house and he sees Sharon sitting on his couch, forget about telling his dad about his trophy that he won. He wants to know why the hell is Sharon all up and through his house. His dad doesn't look too happy. In fact, he looks very worried. And his dad also says that Sharon is staying with them for a little while. So obviously the dad knows the king and has something to tell Carnan, which both him and Sharon actually have something to tell Carnan. So let's figure out what that is. I think it has something to do with the king. Y'all, please don't tell me that Carnan and Sharon are both related to the king. So when Carnan is downstairs getting tea, he runs into Sharon, and he is not friendly at all to Sharon. He is probably embarrassed because he was talking shit to that man on the first day that he had met him. I'd be embarrassed too, assuming someone was liking me. Carnan is like, why are you here? Like, why is you here? And Sharon is like, go ask your daddy. He says your dad knows everything. Why the tension already, y'all? I don't know why it's so funny to me, but honestly, you know what? I hope it actually gets worse. I hope the tension gets worse, okay? The next day, when Carnan is trying to eat with his dad, Sharon comes down to join them, and the dad made Sharon a plate like a good host should. Well, that pissed Carnan off, and he gets up to leave. Y'all, he really does not want to be around Sharon. Like, what did Sharon do to him? He is like, I'm going to eat with my friends at school. And when he gets to school, he's like super jumpy, and he jumps when his friend Paul arrives behind him. And then Paul was like, man, you have been jumping a lot lately. And Carnan tells him, bro, I feel like I am being followed all around, all the time. Paul, of course, brushes it off, telling Carnan, dude, you need to relax. You are being paranoid. And I want you to come to a party tonight. So Carnan agrees to go to the party, and he says to himself at that moment, at least I don't have to see Sharon. But guess who is right behind him in the hallway? Yes, it's Sharon. Y'all, he really followed this boy to school. I wonder how he even found him. Wait, yeah, he probably followed him to school. And he also knows his dad too, and the dad obviously knows what's going on. I don't know. When Paul asks who Sharon is, he says in English, I'm Kenneth's friend. Like, what? And then Kenneth, aka Carnan, is like, friend? He was offended again. But you know what I was more shocked about? That his sexy ass was speaking English. That would have shocked me more. I really didn't know that Z or Nunu spoke English like that. They keep managing to surprise me, y'all. Then not only does Sharon show up to his school unannounced, but then he also invites himself to Samantha's party. Paul tells him, who cares? You can come. Like, the more the merrier. To Carnan's dismay. Y'all, Paul clearly cannot read the room. Like, he read it completely wrong. So, the party is real cute. When we get to the house, it looks like everybody's having a good time. It looks upscale. The pool looks nice. So, when Samantha, the girls whose party it is, Samantha, Paul, and Carnan, they are talking outside by the pool. And Sharon walks up. Sam is like, hey, your friend is kind of hot, talking about Sharon. And Mama's let it be known, she lets it drop, that Sharon is Carnan's type. How about that for messy boots, y'all? But anyway, she is looking out for her friend. She is like, look, Kenneth, you can get you a little boo thing. Also, I also see why Carnan is a bit salty. He might actually like Sharon himself, if he wasn't insulted by him for saying that he was bad at fencing. Anyway, also, he says in Emilian to Sharon, stop staring at me. And I gotta admit that Sharon was actually staring at Carnan. Why was Sharon staring at Carnan? When Sharon and Carnan speak in Imali, they know that their friends can't understand them, but Samantha and Paul could feel the tension between them. Interesting. Why is Carnan so stank to Sharon? Even Paul and Sam has to tell Carnan to stop being mean to Sharon. The kids go inside and decide to play the Pocky game. Is it Pocky or Pokey? I think it's Pocky. Like the little sticks that you eat. It is the game where you have to get the Pocky as short as you and your teammate possibly can with just your mouths. And guess who end up as partners? Carnan and Sharon. Of course, y'all know that we're going to end up as partners, okay? It's just Carnan's luck. And small caveat, why is Paul and Sam so freaking mad that they have to be partners? Was there something between these two before? Carnan is not very happy about his partner, but they end up playing the game because guess what? They both want to win. And whilst the game is going on, while they're chewing on that little Pocky stick, their lips touch. And might I add how much I love the shape of Nunu's lips. Okay, they are just so pretty to me. The shape of his mouth is just like so adorable. It's like so little. And anyway, and apparently Sharon thinks so too because he was shaking when his lips touched Carnan's. Okay, I feel like there is something more behind that kiss. And it is so early in the series. Can it be that Sharon is already catching feelings that fast? Maybe. I don't know. You can tell that Sharon is really affected by the kiss, though, and Carnan thinks nothing of it. He just wants to win the game. So later on that night, Carnan kind of picks up on the fact that Sharon is still a little bit bothered by the game and the kiss. Carnan says it was just a game. It's nothing. The only thing was that our lips touched. That's it. Sharon brings up this thing called the Emilian kiss. He doesn't explain what it is, and Carnan thinks nothing of it. Then after Carnan leaves, Sharon hears something in the water. Something is happening. I don't know if it's with the kids or if it's just something weird in general. So the two of them get home and Carnan's dad is waiting up for them. Carnan decides to ask his dad about what an Emilian kiss is. His dad asked him, why does he want to know? And Karnan was like, you tell me everything else about Emelian stuff. Why not this? So his dad said, to kiss someone in Emelian means to seal a bond of love, lasting until death do them parts. Yo, did Karnan accidentally get his soulmate? I don't know, man. But once Karnan finds this out, like, is it me or does he smile a little bit? Then he kind of looks at Sharon. Did he want something to actually happen? Or was he just being awkward because it means something to Sharon and he kind of wants to downplay it? I think it's the second one for right now. So Karin turns to Sharon and says, it was just a game and don't take it too seriously. So, of course, us in the audience, we are from now and henceforth going to take this Emelian kiss thing seriously, okay? And to be honest, Karnan is taking it pretty seriously too, because when he was in that bathroom, all he was thinking about was that kiss on his pretty little lips. Y'all, he keeps thinking about that boy, and we all know that if we were Karnan, we would think about that as well. But as Karnan goes up the stairs, he overhears his dad and Sharon talking. Girl, Karnan is a prince of a royal family. He is of royal blood. What would y'all do in that situation if you found out that you were royalty? Write it down in the comments and let me know. So Sharon says that Prince Karnan has to return to Emily because his highness is getting old. Also, they're in danger. But Karnan's dad is like, Karnan isn't ready for the competition. What competition? We don't know yet. And that Karnan is the only heir to the Asadavetian clan. I know I fucked that name. I'm sorry, guys. Then, y'all, his dad is like, I don't know how to tell him because remember, his dad raised Karnan since he was a baby. That's the only daddy that Karnan knows. But then his dad drops another bomb. He is not Karnan's biological daddy either. Pause. I just read book 2 of Stars of Chaos, and spoilers. I'm going to give y'all 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Isn't this the same shit that happened in that damn my book? But I digress away from Gu Young's sexy ass. Karnan is completely shocked, rightfully so. He rushes into the room demanding answers from both of them. He cannot believe anything Sharon or his dad is saying, and he looks like he is about to break down. Can y'all imagine? He even tries to stop his dad because it's still his dad. Like, he's trying to stop his dad from bowing to him. It is heartbreaking, actually. He tells him, like, stop, please stop bowing. Like, I'm not a prince. Now he really has a reason to be mad at Sharon. Like, boy, you came and uprooted my life. Like, go away, sir. And then if Sharon is related to the king and Karnan is related to the king as well, don't that make them family members, like, related to each other? Also, see this right here. This is one of those situations where I might run away just for a brief moment, just until the royals give up trying to find me. Y'all know I'm a runner. I am a proponent of running away from your problems in all of these BL situations, okay? Anyway, Karnan is like, my whole life is a fucking lie. What the fuck? And then the piano scene, y'all, when Karnan starts banging on that keyboard. Oh. And then when Sharon comes into the room, Karnan is like, get out. We find out that Sharon is actually a person sent there to protect Karnan. And Karnan is like, protect me, bro. You just fucking destroyed my life. Like, go off. So later the next day, he finally asks his dad to explain everything to him. And the story goes like this. His grandfather, the king, sits on the throne as the king of Emily. His mother and the princess died in an ambush. His biological dad, Prince Tharin? Yeah, I think it's Tharin. Thought that Karnan was, dead. But the king sent his fake dad to rescue Karnan. Y'all follow me? And then he also told fake dad to go ahead and raise Karnan as a, refugee somewhere else. He was trying to protect his grandson from what? I don't know. Then while they're talking, Sharon walks in and Karnan basically tells him, I'm not going to Emily. And I hate when Karnan is even questioning that his dad loves him or not. Like, he knows his dad loves him. That man, like, he legitimately raised you. You can't erase, like, however many years of life Like, no. So turns out Carnan was being followed and is in danger because someone is in their house. And they end up all like fighting the men. And once they try to get away, they open the door, but they are met with more men with guns. And at last, someone gets shot because you hear a gunshot. And wow, y'all, what a great first show! I like it already, and I think I already know what's going to happen in the next one, and my heart cannot handle it.